Why did I move here? I guess it was the weather. Or the... I don't know, that thing. That magic. You see it in the movies. I wanted to retire from what I was doing, you know? From that line of work. Be a good guy for once. A family man. So, I bought a big house. Came here, put my feet up, and thought I'd be a dad like all the other dads. My kids would be like the kids on TV. We'd play ball and sit in the sun, but, well, you know how it is.
Yo, what's good? This your boy Woodz. And in this video, you guys, this is part 2 of GTA 5 Time Traveling Answers. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to hop right into where we left off and dealing with a lot of not only the segregation clues that we have known in the past videos, but a lot of the clues that we are gaining today, along with the elements and sciences behind the certain energy that powers time travel within GTA 5. Now what we're going to do here is understand some source material for a second, okay? And that is the relevancy of the Apollo space program and why aliens and space travel are all related within this mystery. But the Apollo 11 mission was actually in 1969, a universal clue within Rockstar. But when all is said and done, okay, this relates to Apollo and that it was named after this specific god. Now, understanding this Greek god, okay, is a part of understanding the mystery in several different ways, just like I have mentioned. Now, aside from sun gods, okay, we need to understand that this is what is implied with Michael, okay? But even when we imply that with Michael, okay, we need to understand that these implications are more relevant than we could have ever understood, especially archery. Now, once again, you guys, on the physical map of GTA 5, okay, they put a very subtle clue here, and it's catch the arrow, okay? Catch the arrow. Now, we're going to come back to this, and I'm going to show you exactly why an arrow is a key. Now, before we do get on to some of the more deeper proofs of process here, I want you guys to pay attention to the fact that, once again, you guys, from Uranus to even beaming me up and a lot of other alien clues that are tied to yoga are here, okay? They are here. But you know what else is here, you guys? These camper trucks, and they are made by Brute. Now, I'm going to divert your attention to something that will all come together towards the end of the video, okay? But that is a character that we have most noted within GTA 5, okay? Especially with Franklin in the first few missions. His name is Stretch, okay? Stretch. Now, I want you guys to realize something, okay? During Michael's movie premiere in one of the more later missions in GTA 5, you have an option to either take a car or a type of limo, but this limo is called a stretch, okay? Even within GTA 5, you guys, there's a mission called the long stretch. The long stretch, okay? Think about it. Now, when it comes to Rockstar's past, okay, and their later titles tying within the mystery, I want you guys to understand, Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories, okay, had a multiplayer mode, but it was called Get Stretch, okay? That was the name of the mode. Now I want you guys to understand the connective clue here and why stretch is relevant, okay? Dom Beasley, all right, is a GTA 5 character within Strangers and Freaks, okay, but he is constantly seen engaging in high-risk activities such as skydiving and so forth. Now, the point here, you guys, is that whether skydiving or even high-risk activities, they all pretty much involve one thing, and that is elastic clothing, okay? Elastic clothing. Now we're looking at here, okay, is a van that is owned by clowns, okay? And this featured within the Grassroots mission from Trevor. Now, the point here is to understand the relevancy of the clown and even understand the relevancy of the vehicle here, all right? Because this vehicle is actually called a Speedo. Now, the point of this car, all right, or van, that we've used throughout the game and, you know, throughout different little heists and so on and so forth, they showed us this so many times it's ridiculous, but the point here, you guys, is the name. A Speedo is a brand of men's swimming briefs, okay? Elastic swimming briefs. But now, when we understand Dom as a segregative clue, okay, we need to realize that this is part of GTA's San Andreas and their history, okay? Dom's Rubber Shop, okay, which deals with rubber clothes. Now, I want you guys to still understand the connection here, the elasticity to the connection. Now, what I'm going to show you guys here is a bit of the answer, okay? Now, I know I've said that for a while now without actually giving you it, but I'm going to give it to you right now. And I'm going to show you that I gave it to you months ago. Like, and to be perfectly honest, it isn't that I'm fucking with you guys. It isn't that I'm playing little tricks or anything like that. I want you guys to understand that segregative clues are deeper than GTA. You can use them and understand them just as greatly, if not more. Okay, I'm teaching you guys that on a bigger scale. It's inversion at its highest peak, from turning smaller clues into bigger ones and vice versa, okay? But it's your choice, okay? Now I want you guys to understand something. On one of my insights, okay, one of my video insights that was actually talking a big part of my name, okay, it was Whispy Insight episode 3, okay, which was, you know, pretty personal for my standards and exactly what I have to bring within this mystery. Now I'm going to show you exactly why I gave you guys the answer then, and I'm going to give it to you now. But it's all about your choice on whether to see the truth or not. Okay, I'm not saying that shit just because the game is saying it. I'm saying it within reality, okay? You have an option. You can look at what I'm saying as complete bullshit, like I said a million times, or you can negate it, move on, think that shit is just a game, okay, and move on. Or you can understand greater things when they're right in front of you. And this is proof to that process. Now, I want you guys to understand, when I say that it's your choice, I mean it. But even more importantly, when I say you have the potential, understand, you guys, I just gave you the answer, among others.
Exposed to, including the most organically grown lettuce, is composed entirely of chemicals. But when I say everything is chemicals, I am in fact wrong. There are quite a lot of things that aren't chemicals: sound, heat, laser beams, the existential concept of selfness, rainbows. All of those things are things. And all of those things, and also all other things, are in fact, oh god, this is weird, but it's true, they're all the same thing: energy. Everything is energy. About trebuchets. The trebuchet was a weapon of war, but it is also a feat of ancient engineering, so I remember it for that instead of for all the people it killed. Well, I happen to have a very small one that I built from a kit because I'm a nerd. This tiny trebuchet contains quite a lot of energy. In fact, more than you might suspect. And because we are humans and we like to understand stuff, we shall put the energy it contains into a bunch of different boxes. Let's start with the least obvious one. It's mass. Since, as Einstein told us, energy and mass are the same thing. Now, we're not going to go into detail there. Instead, we'll just say that the energy is well and locked up and extremely difficult to access because the nuclear energy of the wood is not easy to release. Which is excellent because the nuclear energy of this trebuchet, if released, could destroy the entire building that I'm sitting in. This little war machine also has thermal energy. Anything warmer than absolute zero has thermal energy, even very, very cold things. This basically means that all of the individual atoms and molecules are jiggling imperceptibly. Only at absolute zero would they stop jiggling. If I were to touch it then, my hand would instantly freeze and then fall off of me. Absolute zero is very cold. It also has chemical energy, which is stored in the bonds between the atoms. All of the bonds in the molecules of cellulose and lignin that make up the wood contain energy, and some of them could be broken, releasing that energy, which is what would happen if I lit my trebuchet on fire, which I will not do because it took like 4 hours to put together. Now, none of those forms of energy are the forms of energy that the ancient generals were interested in, of course, but I wanted to illustrate how much energy really is in there. What the ancient generals were interested in was the system's
gravitational potential energy.
Heavy thing here, which is full of pennies. Oh god, that's dangerous. This thing is heavy, it's full of pennies, and it has been lifted up, and the force of gravity is trying to pull it back down. This stored gravitational energy is a form of potential energy. That is, energy contained within a system because of its position. This does not mean that it has the potential to become energy. It is energy. It's just stored. If it wasn't there, and then it was, then you would be creating energy.
Gravitational potential energy is the energy stored in an object as the result of its vertical position or height. The energy is stored as a result of the gravitational attraction of the Earth and the object. The gravitational potential energy of a massive ball of a demolition machine is dependent on two variables, the mass of the ball and the height to which it's raised. These variables are related and can be expressed with the following equation, where EP is the gravitational potential energy in joules, M is the mass in kilograms, G is the gravitational field strength in newtons per kilogram, and H is the change in height in meters. To determine the gravitational potential energy of an object, a zero height position must first be arbitrarily assigned. Typically, the ground is considered to be a position of zero height, but this is merely an arbitrarily assigned position that most people agree upon. So if someone were to go to the top of Mount Everest, they would have a higher gravitational potential energy than if someone were to stay on the beach. If he were 85 kilograms, then his gravitational potential energy would be the height of Mount Everest, which is 8,848 meters, times by 85, times by 9.8, which is the pull of gravity from the Earth. So the gravitational potential energy of this guy is 7,370,384 joules. But this energy is just potential. If he were to jump off the peak of Mount Everest, then most of the potential energy will be transferred to kinetic energy. We can calculate his kinetic energy with the equation EK equals a half times the mass times the velocity squared. If he was travelling at a velocity of 54 meters per second, then his kinetic energy would be 123,930 joules, but some of it will be lost as heat.
Now look, you guys, beam me up, okay? Kind of like rising a beam with a crane, okay? And that is the same as stored energy. before it drops. What I'm doing here, you guys, is something very simple. I'm playing the grassroots mission, but I'm gonna intentionally get abducted, as you see. And when he goes up, what do? They drop him. Okay? So understand, that literally gave us the answer. He was abducted and then returned to Earth. Going up, dropping. Potential and kinetic energy. So I know that a lot of people hear me say a grand circle and think that I'm possibly just making these things up as I go. No, I want you guys to realize that this is once again a principle of something that we have been trying to find, okay? Karma, all right? Or the ethic of what goes around comes around. A literal circle, okay? Now, once again, you guys realize that even stocks within GTA 5 was a clue towards the same answer, okay? Rising up, then going down. Same situation. Now, when this mystery first started, we were subjected to a lot of clues, like the Galileo Observatory here, okay? But one of the most notable clues is the fact that we'd got a sniper right here. And a lot of people segregated and rearranged Penris here, okay, in order to form sniper. Now, I want you guys to realize something and why this all relates right back into a bird, okay? Now, not only can Penris actually form into Pyranus, okay, which is a type of bird, this really bears down to a snipe, okay, which is another word for a sniper, or another word for where the sniper had come from, which is the accuracy to be able to shoot a snipe bird. As you can clearly see, okay, a snipe is literally a bird, you guys, okay, a snipe. So I want you to realize that no matter how we would have looked at this would have all related right back into birds. No joke. Now, what I want you guys to do here is focus on a point, okay? A point of energy and understanding the process of potential energy and kinetic energy. A bird, okay, in the air, but only when it is, think about it, sniped, that it falls, exhibiting kinetic energy. It's the same process, and they literally showed you the steps. Now, in part 1, I mentioned the coil voltic, and literally so has everyone else. Now, I want you guys to understand something about the coil voltic, okay? Not only does it have immense ties to electricity and even the coil relating right back into Nico, and, you know, Nico Bellic being a tied name into Nikola Tesla. Now, the point here, okay, is the fact that we were looking at the answer from the very beginning, you guys, and it was the coil logo, okay? Once again, the symbolism behind the grand scheme here. Now, in the very first mission, okay, playing as Franklin, you come to a house that has 2 cars, but this house, okay, has a yellow coil stairs, okay, a coil. So now, understanding and connecting a clue that we have looked up before. Pogo the monkey, okay, tied to all of the monkeys in the game and the clues that lead right back into a coil. But this coil is a spring. Now, what's even more interesting is that in the radio commercial, the first line that the boy says that owns Pogo says, "I love you, Pogo, you bounce." Now, what we're looking at here, okay, is another bit of the evidence as to why they do what they do, okay? This trailer right here is the second trailer ever of GTA 5, okay? We watched the first one. Now this is the second one. Now I want you guys to understand the clue and how they hit it very well.
Your son, James, he's a good kid.
Oh my God! Hey, let's bounce. Bounce. We're bouncing.
Do you guys see how clever they are with their clues, you guys? Let's bounce. Bounce. So now we're bouncing now. Bouncing. Just like a spring. Now, within a mystery, you guys, that we have most noted for there to be Illuminati references and even references to mountains, okay? We need to understand something about this. the same plateau exists. You go up, then you go down, okay? Potential, then kinetic. Now, I want you guys to understand a few examples that have to do with potential energy, and we're going to run down a few things that have been in our face a million times, and for good reason, because they're showing us all the same answer. From a coiled spring, you guys, okay, to even water, okay, that is behind a dam, all right? We have 2 dams in GTA. Now, I want you guys to understand the potential energy that they are showing by exhibiting that dam, okay? An archer's bow, okay, with the string pulled back. So think about it. Archery, catching an arrow. I mean, to be perfectly honest, you guys, there's like way too many examples, okay? But I'm going to show you a few that literally are all tied, okay, for a specific reason. A car that is parked on top of a hill, okay? A stretched rubber band, okay? So think about it. Stretch and all of the stretch clues that tie into rubber, they all about the same principle, you guys. Now, even river water at the top of a waterfall, okay? At the top of a waterfall. Now, I need you guys to understand something. Infinity pools drift over like waterfalls. So being on top of a waterfall, okay, is no different than exhibiting the same potential energy, all right? Still air. Now understand, this is one reason why Maureen says this.
Marnie. Now I am Shupar, Queen of the Winds.
Part of the clue. Even an airplane idling on the runway. Or even a satellite before it is launched and placed into orbit. Okay, what have we been doing in GTA, you guys? All right, target practice as Trevor. But what were we shooting when we first did target practice? Satellite dishes. Keyword, satellites.
I got just a thing. Let's raise some hell, neighbor.
Oh, I'm in.
I'll introduce you to one of my all-time favorite pastimes.
You're gonna love this.
Okay, you see them 3 big satellite dishes? A decent shot, and they'll go down easier than a horse drawers.
Even understanding that the first thing they give us in the game, no lie, you guys, the first item, which is a gun, is the fucking answer. Check this out. Bullets before they fire from a gun. Potential energy. When something is cocked and ready to go. Okay, you have to think about these things within the same ideal of universal thinking, okay? A ripe fruit before it falls. Gravitational potential energy. Now, even when it comes down to a pull stick before you move it, okay? It's pretty interesting, you guys. A pull cue, okay, or a pull stick is a fucking weapon that they had in The Lost and the Damned. A frisbee before it is thrown into the air. Now understand, a frisbee is what, you guys? A flying saucer. Think about it. A Ferris wheel before it starts turning, okay? Now understand, you guys, a lot of these things are before something or before the choice to do something. Now that's the point in which they're telling you you have the choice, you have the potential, okay? And we have things backwards. Now, as the previous documentary had stated, there are different types of potential energy, okay, that are all tied once again into kinetic energy. But among them, there are chemical and radiant and a few others. Now, looking within chemical, we can understand a charged battery, you guys, is even part of the clue. A charged battery, which could give more relevance as to why there are battery schematics in Lester's room. Explosives, okay? Understand, throughout this fucking game, you guys, there are explosions fucking everywhere. That's why. Because explosives are potential fucking energy. Green leaves before the sun shines on them. Think about it. The sun. Gasoline before it is ignited. Leaving a gasoline trail. Even when it comes down to balloons, okay? We have a huge ass blimp in the game, you guys. A blimp. They gave it to us with the pre-order. Understand? A balloon before it pops. They gave us the answer. Even fireworks before they are launched. What did we get in the Independence Day DLC, you guys? A firework launcher. Come on. Fruit juice before it ferments. Well, when we have things backwards, we already have juice that is fermented. The wick in a candle. The same thing we see when we do yoga. A flywheel without any wind to turn it. Once again, you guys, okay, flywheels, but this one is not moving, okay? Potential. What we're looking at here is the very first trailer for GTA 5, okay? Once again, I want you guys to understand, okay, 78 and 10 tying right back into 88 is pinned very strategically on this huge version of a flywheel. But I want you guys to understand that within this field, okay, some of these turbines do not work, as if they do not have wind blowing through them. Soccer balls before players kick them, or even an unopened carbonated drink, soda, or even beer. Just to God, you guys, even a raised weight. Okay? No joke. They literally tell us the answer every single day. Now, for now, I'm going to stop with the examples because, honest to God, like I said, you guys, I can go on and on and on and show you 10,000 more proofs to this. But even these damn Muscle Beach guys, a raised weight. A raised fucking weight. Understand, he pushed it up. He's gonna keep raising it. He's gonna keep raising it. You know why, you guys? Because a raised weight is the answer. He's gonna keep it like that. He's going to. You know why? Because it assimilates an energy. And this is the answer. And in subtle ass ways across the map, they have shown us the same bit of evidence. So just to solidify and confirm a lot of what's going on here, okay? Potential energy mixed with kinetic energy is a huge source of the answer here, okay? Now, what is left to do is to experiment with this process and this energy. But there's a big thing that I want you guys to notice about potential energy, and it's really not about the bow or any of the things that have to do with elastic potential energy. I want you guys to understand the fact that this fucking energy has a few different names for itself, but one of the names, okay, among PE and U is V, okay, V. They literally, you guys, gave us the answer from day one. TheChildrenOfTheMountain.com has a processing stage for Franklin. Now, I want you guys to understand and read this. If there can be more than one interpretation of something, there is no truth. This is why, as Michael, we follow Chris's lies and not his truth. Lying in a lake. It's all perception. How do you think we put an SUV on Mars? Because all of the people at the space program have attended my seminars. Yes, you just had a breakthrough. You spiritually re-evaluated your externality. Now tell me that's not worth $4,999. Well, I'm pretty sure it is worth it, especially when they literally gave us the answer right in front of our face. It's bound by limitations and potential. Potential thermal energy. A mug before you fill it with hot chocolate. But realize, you guys, hot chocolate has the same thermal energy as hot coffee.